And welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. Now, did you know that Lonzo Ball is averaging the most blocks by a point guard in NBA history with one block a game? So, anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Bob Fan 101, with my good friend and co-host Cam, aka Ice by Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So, let's get down to some news. We're going to start off with the NFL. First off, condolences to Demaryius Thomas's family. He passed away. I think he was around 33 or 36, one of the two.
He was 33,
33,
which is
okay.
sad. He just retired. So
Yes, yeah, I remember we reported about it, and he apparently died because of complications with seizures. So rest in peace to him. That's really, really sad to hear.
yeah. Demaryius Thomas, man, I remember. It was like, I always loved the guy, but man, I used to hate going against him when my team used to play or anything like that. I remember him and Manning were good together for a while, and I remember that was horrible because they were really good. But it really does suck to see because he died at a young age. I mean, 33. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's just
if you think
young,
about Christian, that's like Christian in like 10 years almost. So kind of sad. That sucks. Condolences
Yeah,
to
man. Well, there's not really too much NFL news other than Lamar Jackson. He hurt his ankle today and had to be escorted off, and he got a boot fitted on him. So that's not going to be great for the Ravens.
That's going to be horrible.
Oh, yeah, especially when it's down to crunch time like this. Yeah, let's talk about some of the games today. The only real one I watched was the football team versus the Cowboys. And first half, that was a crap show. I know probably most of you don't really care, but it was definitely a crap show. Heineke could not throw today. The offensive line looked, yeah, Cowboys came to play for sure. But Washington should have come more prepared, especially when the Cowboys were on the slump like they were. And now they look like at the beginning of the season, just because Washington is not really a good team. And that pains me to say as a Washington fan.
Yeah, I did not watch that game. The game I did watch, though, was the Chiefs-Raiders game. And, wow. Just like to say, the Chiefs made the Raiders look like a bunch of 4-year-olds. And if you don't know why I'm saying, why I'm really talking about this game in the manner I am, is because before the game, the Raiders went over to the Chiefs logo and did a little, like, a huddle on it. And I don't know what they were doing. As you guys didn't know, Chiefs and Raiders are like a huge rivalry. They've always been that way. And so they did that. And then by the half, the Chiefs were beating them, I think 35-3. And then it got worse. I think the final was like 48-10 or something like that. But basically just embarrassing.
Yeah, 48-9 Chiefs.
Yeah, and Mahomes was doing amazing. Easily, I think one of the best games I think he's done this season.
Yeah.
And, that's one game I watched. The only other game I'm going to talk about, which was, I think, Thursday. Or it was one of the games, it was Lions and Steelers.
Yeah, that was last week, I think.
Yeah,
but that was a couple of weeks ago, actually.
Oh, what did I say? Lions and Steelers?
Lions and Steelers.
Oh, nope, there goes that. I meant Vikings and Steelers. Vikings.
Oh, yeah. That was on Thursday.
I watched that game, and so let me tell you, right? Kirk Cousins, I thought, was horrible, sadly. He was just not doing too good. He was overthrowing everything. I feel so bad for Justin Jefferson trying to make great plays. It didn't really happen. I mean, Jefferson had a couple bad drops, though. Like, I remember he was on an out route. Mm-hmm. He had the ball, but he decided to try to make it a one-handed catch when he easily just could have caught it two hands and dropped it. Horrible. I was so upset. And I was getting pretty good because I think it was like third quarter. I was really happy, right? The Steelers haven't had a touchdown yet, and they started coming back. They made, I think, 20-something points in just one quarter, and it was getting scary, and it kind of came down to the last minute. And it's kind of funny because the Steelers actually lost to Chase Claypool, making a little first down thing, like little first down, like, pointer thing that's like basically saying, like, first down, all that. He was doing a little dance.
Pass caught by Claypool, first down, clock running. And it may come up and clock it now. There he goes. They got it now. The balls, they can't get the ball to the official. He's trying to scramble to get it set.
And because of that, they lost seconds and couldn't get the playoff.
Exactly.
And I'd just like to say, yes, Steelers fans, there is consequences when your team is on TikTok. Just saying.
Facts.
You got a little too much of the showboating in this and stuff. So, yeah, it was great watching Chase Claypool do a little electric slide before they could get a touchdown. It's great. Love that.
Yeah.
But overall, the game was all right, but I was a little disappointed because we really started letting them up. At the end, Dalvin Cook was amazing. Our blockers was doing great. Defense, they were okay. I mean, they could have done any better, though. They could have done a little better, but, besides that, they did pretty good.
Yeah, Cousins, he's not really the best in primetime. That's been known for years. Super underrated quarterback when he's not on primetime, but when he's in primetime, he just something switches off for him. I'm not sure what it is. And then as for Chase Claypool, he is an idiot. He's just a showboat like Juju Smith-Schuster, and that's why the Steelers are probably my second least favorite team in the league, especially their fans. Their fans are really cocky and arrogant and annoying.
Yeah. I know a couple people.
Well, yeah.
Is that all you had to say for football?
Yeah, I'm just going to say the scores of the games this week. Cowboys beat the Washington team 27-20. Almost a comeback because Heineke got injured and they put in Kyle Allen. And I think Kyle Allen should start because Heineke is really frustrating a lot of people and he did not come prepared for today's game. Vikings beat the Steelers 36-28. Ravens lose to the Browns 24-22. Titans beat the Jags 20-0. Saints beat the Jets 30-9. Falcons beat the Panthers 29-21. I got that pick right. Seahawks beat the Texans 33-13. Broncos win against the Lions 38-10. For Demarius, Chargers beat the Giants 37-21. 49ers beat the Bengals 26-23. Interesting. And the Buccaneers beat the Bills 27-33. And currently the games at the time we're recording this, the Bears and the Packers, they have not started yet, and the Rams and the Cardinals for Monday Night Football. So, yeah, let's move on to the MLB.
So, there's not a lot. The lockouts really caused everything to just shut down in general, really. But the only things that I have is Yasiel Puig, which if you guys don't remember him, he used to be in the MLB. But he actually fell off due to anger issues and other things. And, he used to be one of the best players ever, they said. But now he just kind of sucks. No offense. But he has signed a 1-year contract worth $1 million with the Kiwoom Heroes of the Korean baseball organization. Which I kind of want to go into talk about is with this lockout. We're actually kind of seeing some players form and shift away into other leagues, which is kind of crazy to see. But, I don't think that the MLB is basically going to ever go away. But I feel like if more players decide to do what some of these other players are doing or deciding of maybe doing, it's really going to hurt. And, so that's really that. Anything to say on it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's expected for Yasiel to go to Korea. I'm not sure if it's North Korea or South Korea, but yeah, that's really expected. I don't know how many opportunities he was getting, so he got something.
It was definitely South Korea. I don't even know if North Korea would have. Ooh, that's a really dark humor joke, but I'm gonna say anyways. I bet North Korea has a lot of nukes on their team. Am I right? Sorry. Anyways, the Blue Jays reportedly met with Freddie Freeman's representatives prior to the MLB lockout. So there's some interest there. If Freddie goes to the Blue Jays, I mean, my gosh, with Vladdy and him would be horrible. I mean, in a good way. But, yeah, be scary.
Yeah, I don't want to see Freddie on New York or the Dodgers, so Blue Jays would be decent.
And then this one kind of hurts my soul a little bit. The Padres reportedly showed a strong interest in outfielder Nicholas Castellanos prior to the MLB lockout, which with Castellanos, he hasn't really made a claim of what he's doing. They've still just had the whole we're going to sit back and see what teams try to bite for us kind of motto. So it's a little hurtful. And knowing the Reds, they're probably not going to give them the money they want because they're cheap and idiots. So it's just gonna how it is. And then another news, the Milwaukee Brewers have reportedly had previous interest in Yankee first baseman Luke Vogt, which if you didn't know, Luke Vogt was a crowd favorite and, easily a great first baseman for the Yankees. Just Anthony Rizzo took over. And I mean, well, it's Anthony Rizzo. And so I'm sure he's trying to look for other places to go. And I remember he was even upset at the Yankees for a long time because for how long he served there and how long and he was still doing good that they didn't even give him a chance to try to fight for a spot between him and Rizzo. So he was pretty upset about that. So I'm sure he's going to go somewhere else.
Interesting. So moving on to the NBA, Damian Lillard would like to play with Ben Simmons, but the 76ers want a top 25 player for him. We've talked about this so many times on the show. I don't know if an NBA player, if they're going to get a top 25 NBA player, unless it's like the bottom of the top 25 list.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I do hear some teams, the trade talks are really engaging, so we'll see what happens. Trailblazers, of course, said they're not going to trade Damian, which no crap. Why would you?
Right.
Dante DiVincenzo has been assigned to the Milwaukee Bucks G League affiliate. Several players, including team staff, DeMar DeRozan, Rick Carlisle, Ja Morant, Masai Ujiri, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Kyle Kuzma, and Zach LaVine have all entered the health and safety protocol list. That is a lot of players. I know there's new COVID variant or whatever. So, yeah, very, very interesting. And I hope that there's not another shutdown with the league. And speaking of Kuzma, he got fined $15,000 for making a gesture at a Pistons fan after his game-winning shot on Wednesday night.
About Kuzma waking.
So that's cool shot, but I mean, that was a tough picture though. I saw what he did. He flipped the bird. So yeah.
Well, that's gonna sting for the NBA. So because some of those players, are better than some. And I'm just gonna say Kuzma, the whole winning the shot and doing that was like total swagger points. It's worth the fine. It's worth
especially with Kuzma. He grew up in Flint, Michigan. You love to see it. I love Kyle Kuzma. No homo. CJ McCollum has a collapsed right lung. Man, that hurts. CJ, I know, hasn't been playing at his best recently, but man, prayers up to him. That really sucks.
I like CJ a lot, so hearing that's actually like horrible. I hope he gets better.
Yeah. And Isaiah Thomas has signed with the G League and will play in the G League Showcase. Maybe Isaiah can get another opportunity. I know he was doing well somewhere else. I'm not really sure where, but I know he was doing really well, and a lot of people were saying that a team should pick him up. So maybe this will show some teams that, hey, I'm still relevant.
I want to say that I'm rooting for Isaiah Thomas because I am, but man, I feel like it's hard with his age and just, I feel like maybe there's a chance, maybe he could get a second chance, but I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be hard for him. But if he can, I mean, that's great. I still think he's one of the Celtics legends. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree with you for sure. So moving on to college football.
My bad. So we actually have a couple things to talk about. One is the NCAA actually took away the whole fake sliding thing, the fake QB slide. After
the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, Pickett, a very good runner. Don't sleep on those legs. Oh, he faked the slide. Sauce time. Pickett did that work. Touchdown, Pitt.
I forget the player's name. Did it?
Kenny Pickett.
Yep, and which honestly I'm not upset about. Really, they should have took it back in the beginning of the play because that's dangerous to QBs because what if QBs try to slide now and players can't tell the difference and hit the QB? It's just as simple as that, and it's not one of those rules that's like it's not fair. There's nothing that you could just justify that one, and congrats to him because he's gonna be the only player ever that's fake slid in a college football game. And he's going to be the one that's going to create it to make it where they can't do it no more. So it just shows how smart that guy is. And hopefully maybe he can find himself somewhere. It'd be great.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to be in the top 10 from one of the mock drafts I was seeing. But I disagree with getting rid of it. I understand your point, and, that could be dangerous, especially when more defenses figure out that loophole. They could easily, tackle him and he can break a leg or an ankle. But I personally thought the fake slide was a very smart play, and it's similar to the pump fake in basketball. So I disagree with that.
Well, I guess my other thing too is that like what if they can't tell if it's a fake slide or not, and then they do slide and then they tackle him, but now it's a flag and now it's going against your team. So that's why But anyways, we have some news on the 2021 Heisman Trophy. Winner is Bryce Young, which he had 2,311 points. And then I'm going to give you the other two guys because, these guys obviously still were up there for sure. Number 2 is Aiden Hutchinson with 954 points. And number 3 was Kenny Pickett with 631.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised with Bryce Young winning that.
Yeah, and Kenny had 28 first place votes, by the way. So,
yeah, interesting. Like I said, I'm not really surprised with Bryce Young winning it. I think he deserved it. Now let's talk about some college basketball. Not really too much news here aside from Rutgers upsetting Purdue 70-68 on a buzzer beater by Ron Harper Jr. Is a very sick shot. You'll see it a little later. And couple other notables. Let's see. You got Illinois beating Iowa. Let's see, that score 87-83. Not too eventful because besides that one upset, that's pretty much it. Rankings. We'll probably stay the same except for Baylor. Baylor is 8-0 right now, so they'll probably jump to number 1 with the Purdue loss. And Maryland actually upset Florida today. Great win for them, 70-68. I wish DC teams would stop giving me a freaking heart attack every time they play.
Yeah. Sadly I don't really watch college basketball much. I don't know. I guess I more so watch it when March Madness comes around.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say it's really exciting, but March Madness definitely everybody should watch it if you're a basketball fan.
Oh, just in general. I feel like it's one of those things where it's one of a kind because really that's when players get really competitive.
Exactly. I love March so much.
Yes. We have some UFC news, kinda ish. Not really. It's more just talking about the fights.
Yeah, we're gonna recap 269.
Yep, and I'm gonna talk about the whole Cody Garbrandt and Sugar Sean O'Malley thing that happened. So, in the pre-fight, Sean was talking with Cody about fights and all that, saying how the last fight he won was in 2017. Cody said about the whole you never really fight anybody big. That's like known, and both of them are not wrong. And it got a little heated. They actually tried to kind of fight each other on. They said that they were going to square up, how they do for pictures, but I don't know, it looked pretty heated. And it was funny. So later, Sean O'Malley was getting interviewed, and the only reason why he said something around the lines of, "Oh, that's why he shouldn't be in this sport anymore," is because Cody said the same thing to him. And so there's kind of got a little bit of a beef going on. And technically, even though Sean is pretty tall, I think that Cody is able to fight him because they're both in bantamweight. So that may be a fight that you might be able to see. I don't know. I just know that Sean won and Cody didn't. And that was really that. But to go on the fight about the Pena and Nunes fight, I mean, wow. I actually was able to watch it a little bit earlier today, because I didn't get to watch it last night. Holy cow! They put on a war, and Pena came out with some big shots.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, her jab is mean. Nunes' head was snapping back every time she jabbed. It was horrible, and she came out as the victor, and it kind of shocked everybody. And I felt bad because I heard one guy put in $318,000 on Nunes, and I think he came back with only $30,000. What a low dude! What are you gonna tell your bank? Be like, I didn't say that.
Right.
I don't know.
So for the Cody and the Sean fight, that just seems like typical UFC trash talk, but still very interesting. I wish I could show UFC clips, but I really don't want to take a risk because Dana is very copyright hungry and blocks every time I put in a UFC clip. But that Pena versus Nunes fight, that, in my opinion, that was the fight of the night. I'm sorry, but it was.
Absolutely. And I think the worst part is I don't think it was put as fight of the night.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? And I was like, that's a disgrace. I think they gave it to Carlos Condit and that other dude. Yeah, I know. And then my other one I want to talk about, which you can even ask Mike. I said this. My prediction was that Oliveira was going to win against Poirier, and I said, for one thing, Oliveira has great stand-up. I think as, if not better, than Poirier, but his takedown, man. This dude when he's on the ground is a demon.
Right.
He's easily one of the best I've seen. He can out grapple. I practically think anybody. I'd like to see Khabib give him a run for his money, and I'd love to see where that would go.
Oh yeah,
because that would be great. But personally, I knew that Oliveira was going to win. Because I knew if his stand up wasn't going to work with Poirier, he could just submit him, and he did that. And it showed. And I like to say Poirier got humbled too, because when they're at weigh-ins and taking pictures and stuff and squaring up, Poirier had a little shouting thing about how he's gonna win and how it's one more to go before he gets his big thing or something like that. And it was great to see him fall because he got a little cocky.
Interesting. But yeah, going back to the Nunes and Pena fight, just my closing opinions on it. Nunes definitely won the first round. I heard Pena's corner, they were saying this is exactly what we want. And then second round, Pena just came out swinging. They were just trading blows. It was probably the best thing I've seen in the UFC. And then that ending where Pena submitted her, that was amazing. Pena is a bad woman in a good way. Just so awesome. She definitely gained a fan out of me. And for the Poirier and Oliveira fight, I didn't know Poirier said that cocky thing. That's interesting. I don't know if he was trying to speak it into existence, like I'm the champ, or if he was being cocky. So I'm not really going to say anything about that. But the fight was pretty interesting. I would say the stand-up was pretty much even, maybe going towards Oliveira because I saw he landed more critical strikes than Poirier did. And the ground for Oliveira, man, that's incredible. I don't know what to say. That was probably some of the best ground game I've seen in the UFC too. So definitely a great title defense by Oliveira.
Yeah. Also, one more thing I would like to talk about the UFC real quickly is, I see all these people getting on Conor, and and I guess they're always trying to figure out what happened. And personally, I think it always just comes down to he's not hungry anymore.
Right.
He's not craving a win to need it. I mean, at the end of the day, this guy was fighting for his family and fighting just, so he can get what he wanted, which was money. And so he's stable. And now I think he's stable. So now I feel like it's not as important to him anymore. And I feel like that's why you don't see Conor as hungry and as much of, a talker and as much of this and that. And he's not as crazy as because, he doesn't necessarily need it.
Right.
I mean, didn't he make how much was it? 100 million?
He made like 100 million just for showing up at the arena, I think, or like 4 million just for showing up.
And like I said, and that's the thing is that it was that much that he's gotten to the point where it doesn't matter if he wins or loses, and he knows that in his head. And so I still think that we'll never get old Conor back again because he was just a different breed, and that's because he was hungry and he wanted something. But now that he's got it, he doesn't need to be that way anymore. And honestly, it's smart. I recommend any fighter in the UFC, no matter how good you are, do what Khabib did. Khabib left after he got his money because, CTE and, you get hurt in the UFC a lot. It's no joke. And I feel like, that's a great reason why a lot of these dudes that are, once you get as much money as you need to get stable, leave. Start a business, do something else because really it's a tough sport.
Yeah. I think once Conor fought Khabib and with the whole proper 12 thing and he was kind of just making himself look like a fool, that's really what was starting his downfall. And I do agree with you how he doesn't seem as hungry because I was watching old videos of Conor and, he was amazing when he was back in 2015, 2016, all that. And nowadays, he's still a relatively competitive fighter, I would say, but I think the old Conor would have definitely beaten Poirier, could have gone the distance with Khabib. And yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. I wish that I could have seen the old Conor, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, something into these top 10 plays.
Yes. Coming in at number 10 is Jaden Ivey Windmill.
Now Amori has it taken away. Ivey uncontested. Whoa! Well, that was gutsy in a 4-point game with 3.5 minutes.
And at number 9 is Stephen Curry with another half-court shot.
But this is not how you play the final 19 seconds.
Stephen Curry with all these half-court shots reminds me of LaMelo Ball back when he was in high school.
Yes, of course. In at number 8, Charles Oliveira submits Dustin Poirier to defend the lightweight title. I unfortunately can't include this in the video because, like I said, the UFC is very copyright hungry. So here's a link to it in the description.
Yep. And then number 7 is Daniel Gafford, put back windmill.
Beal, little sidestep off the glass. Oh, look at that follow by Gafford.
In at number 6, South Dakota State ankle breaker game winner. Insane play.
Going to overtime. Or was South Dakota State winning on the road? 2 to play. Shireman, step back 3, bang! Game. And South Dakota State has just shocked Washington State. Baylor Shireman, a step back 3.
And at number 6, oh my bad. At number 5, Ron Harper Jr. buzzer beater to upset number 1 Purdue.
The answer, 3 seconds, no timeouts. Harper for the win. Oh! It counts at the buzzer.
And at number 4, high school player does double windmill.
Jeez. At number 3, Trevor. Oh, I'm gonna murder this guy's last name. Zagarius?
Zagaris, I think.
Zagaris, your name. Hockey alley-oop goal to Sonny Milano.
Zegers here. He can. Oh, look at this! Oh, it's in! Oh my goodness! What a goal!
Yeah, insane goal. I've never really seen that before. But in at number 2, Alprin Segun no-look shot.
Okay, Şengün wants it. Feed him.
Rockets have hit their last 5 shots. And Dylan Brooks. Oh, wow. Did you see that?
What?
It won't count.
Stop it.
That's amazing.
What?
And at number 1, which you aren't going to be able to see either because UFC again, Juliana Pena submits Amanda Nunes for the upset women's bantamweight title. And, I'd like to say that I feel like maybe Dana White, like for every hair that was in his head, he just gave us copyright. That's why he's bald.
Oh, man. And every time that he's tried to promote Connor.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's going to close out the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow our socials, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.